and welcome to Radio Vision Network and our morning coffee show, Wednesday with Carole. I'm Carole Moore from Edgewater Park at Whitebriar Bed and Breakfast, and I'm very fortunate today to have my friend Dorothy Wright from Somerville, New Jersey, North Jersey, and I'm from South Jersey. And today we're going to be talking about ice cream, but anybody can talk about Dolly Madison and her bringing the ice cream into the White House. We're talking about something a little more detailed, and that is the actual servers, not the ice cream scoops of modern times, but ice cream servers. And Dorothy, welcome, and tell me, why is it not an ice cream scoop, and why is it a server?
When ice cream was first manufactured to be sold, it came in square boxes. So one of the first things they did was they gave you needed an ice cream saw. That's what this is. And it would cut through the ice cream. And then after they developed this, thinking perhaps this was not sufficient, they would have different kinds of ice cream servers. Here in front of you, I have some of the Sterling ice cream sets that I actually collect.
Now this is an ice cream. Let me see this one that looks like a shell. Now this first number one looks like a pie server, but it wouldn't have this filigree or fringe on the side of the pie server because you'd want it totally flat. Now this has an edge to it, I guess, so the ice cream doesn't fall off the other side.
Yes, and it's also gold washed. It was thought that if you put gold wash on Sterling, it would save it and not tarnish it. So many of these forks and spoons that I have here are gold wash, and this is the original gold wash. What you're holding this is called Charles II.
The pattern.
The pattern, and it's from 1891.
And whatever in the world got you started on collecting?
I actually happen to like sets, and I bought almost all of these on eBay. They are available if you want to do this, and I only buy sets of 12, and I actually have friends over and we eat from these things. And the thing that started me on this was my great aunt, thinking that she had a precious family heirloom, gave me some forks and spoons, telling me this is from my great aunt's grandmother's silver service, and when she died, everybody got some forks and spoons. So I was so excited to get this, and I went to see her. She lived in Jersey City, and when I picked it up and looked at it, I said to her, "Aunt Marguerite, if our family name is Henshaw, how come all these things have a D on it?" And she said to me, "Oh, you know what? This is my husband's grandmother's, but you don't have to keep it. You can give it back." I said, "I'm going to keep it because I'm going to tell the story, and I think it would be more fun for people to hear that."
Well, that is a wonderful story, and I'll tell you what it relates to. It relates to Mount Vernon. Every bit of the silver in Mount Vernon has a C on it. For Martha Custis Washington brought the silver from her deceased husband's family, the Custis silver, when she married George Washington. George Washington was penniless when he came out of the war. He's not like the politicians today that make a fortune while they're in office. So everybody looks at the silver in this whole big room of silver at Mount Vernon, and none of it is George Washington's. His brother actually had to save the family home from a tax sale while George was away at war. So don't be surprised whose initial is on your silver. Tell us some more.
Oh yeah, and just so that you know it, the Curtises were a rich family. They would have gotten their silver from England.
Okay.
I bought some coin silver so that you could see it.
I don't understand the term coin silver.
Until the Comstock lode in Nevada was discovered in 1859, the only way silversmiths in the United States could make silver was to melt down coins. And the coins that we had and that we got from England were 90% silver and 10% another metal, normally copper. Sterling silver is 92.5% silver, which is why it's called sterling. So it was very expensive for people to import real sterling silver bars. And in fact, what most of them did, even Paul Revere, they melted down old sterling silver things, and they made them in.
Repurposed
They
it.
made them, but these are you. If you just take a look at them, they're very plain. These happen to be engraved. This is a very, very standard pattern for the United States.
What time period would this type of
Oh,
pattern be?
this actually, I will tell you this. This was manufactured by Zalman Bostic in New York City in 1847. A lot of the sterling was manufactured either in Providence, Rhode Island, or New York City. And in fact, the set that I got from my great aunt was actually done in New York City. And that manufacturer became partners with Tiffany, so right after 1900, so he went out of business, but he got into a much better business.
Uh-huh.
So, and one of the things that happened when the Comstock lode was found, they were able to, they got rolled silver. So almost all of this silver was put in a form and raw silver, and the silver was rolled over it, and then it was further engraved. This is a really nice set. This is a whiting, and it actually is engraved. You can see.
What word are you saying? Whiting, the color?
Whiting, Whiting.
That's the
Whiting
manufacturer?
manufacturer.
Okay.
They manufactured into the early part of the 20th century,
Wow.
and
And they engraved it as well, so beautifully.
yeah, and it's all engraved on even these little spoons. And one of the things, if you were really wealthy, when you got silver, it came in a presentation box, and this is the box.
This is a presentation box.
And it came all covered. And this.
And tell me how old this box is.
Oh,
This is velvet, in case you can't tell everybody.
Yeah, you probably can't tell. And
It's well loved.
And this is from 1880.
Flip it around so the camera can get a better view of the silver that's in it.
And one of the things that the sterling manufacturers would do was they would put the name of the store on the box, so when you sold it.
Oh.
And sometimes some of the silver on the back of it actually has the manufacturer's name
Wow.
and the store name on it. The Biddles firm in Philadelphia sold a lot of silver. I really have a number of their pieces.
So then you would have this, in a fine house, you would have this box of ice cream serving utensils, and you would only bring them out for
a company.
company.
And these are special spoons, so they wouldn't fit in your regular silver box.
Oh.
And this is one of the other things, because sherbet was a softer material. This is a sherbet serving.
All right. Now this has a little bit more of a bowl, and boy, oh boy, is it elongated and fluted on the edges.
And this is really nicely engraved also. And the spoons that this one comes with have the same engraving on them. This is all done by hand, and this is also whitewashed.
And again, tell me why they are the gold wash.
It would thought that they would not tarnish.
In other words, they were worried about the ice cream
Tarnishing.
the silver.
Because ice cream, when it was manufactured with salt.
Oh, that's right.
And they were afraid.
And they didn't want pitting and very, let's see, boy, they were thinking of everything.
They were thinking of their maids, myself.
That they didn't have to polish them.
Yeah, and you can still today, if you have silver you want to buy, and you don't like the way it's whitewashed, you can either have it taken gold wash. You can either have it taken off, or you can have it redone.
Resilvered.
Yeah, there's a place in Virginia called Replacements.
Oh yes, I know.
And
well.
they do all kinds of silver repair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I noticed, Dorothy, that when my husband and I eat ice cream, we eat a whole bunch of ice cream, and this doesn't seem like a very big bowl.
No, ice cream was very expensive. You really couldn't make it at home. A lot of people in the cities, almost all the stuff was sold in the cities. They didn't have cows, so they really had to buy it. And the term icebox, that was the original refrigerator. A lot of places didn't have ice boxes.
Wow.
So this was a real treat to have ice cream. And one of the things that people don't know is Carole and I know each other because we belong to the Camp Olden
Yes.
Round Table. So I brought, this is interesting, this is a service that was made also by Whiting. This is called Grecian. And this service was manufactured in 1861.
Wow.
So
Right
here
before
are here our great grandfathers are fighting in the Civil War. There's no coinage because they sold all the coin they could have for money so that they could buy things from England, and people still had money to buy
their silver
for ice cream.
Wow. Priorities.
Yes, I thought that was very interesting.
This one has an unusual shape, Dorothy. What do you think that one is so different?
This is actually still called a silver scoop also.
A silver scoop.
I have no idea.
And is it part of this pattern?
That's also part of that pattern. And this, I have no idea why it has this crumpled edge, but it does have a crumpled edge.
But that was on purpose. That's not deteriorated.
No, not at all.
Wow, if you can see it, it just has kind of ridges on one side.
And this is one of my favorite patterns. This is called ivy, and if you look at it, you can see.
Oh yes.
You can see ivy on it.
And such a thin neck. It seems these days we have silverware or stainless steel that is much wider here.
Yeah. Yeah, and this was all punched out and then worked by hand. Every piece
Is that
of
what
it.
it is? It comes out as a flat sheet and they punch it out and then shape it?
They would shape it like this, but it would be flat.
Oh, it would
so
be
they
flat.
have to then just put curves in it. So the people who did this were really artisans. Any person that was associated with making sterling was really an artisan.
So Paul Revere wasn't the only one, huh?
No, and Paul, and if you take a look at it, I guess
hold that thought. We're going to go to commercial.
Okay.
We'll be back in a little bit. Stay tuned here. We're learning about silver and ice cream servers here on Radio Vision Network. Morning Coffee, Wednesday with Carole. We'll be right back.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
And welcome back to Radio Vision Network. This is Carole Moore and Dorothy Wright, and we're talking ice cream ice cream servers here on Morning Coffee Wednesday with Carole. Tell us a little bit more, Dorothy.
In the 1880s, silversmithing changed a bit. So when people started to manufacture, they put designs on both sides. This is called Louis XV. This is a very famous pattern. It's still in existence now. It has the same markings on the back and front.
And before the Civil War, they didn't have that.
No, before the Civil War, they lacked the ability to do that. But they got better mold. The people in the United States originally got molds from England to make silver, and then the people in the United States were able to make their own molds.
So the Civil War then helped them be entrepreneurs, so they made their own molds because they couldn't get them from England because of the war?
Well, they had never been able, because they didn't have rolled silver, they were never able to even make these to start with. It would have been so horribly expensive. The Comstock Lode made the United States silver independent. We didn't have to buy silver from England or any other country. A lot of silver came from Mexico.
And then that saved a lot of coins too, right?
No,
because they didn't have to melt the coins for the silver?
Yes. Well, nobody wanted, once you could buy sterling, which was as good as the English sterling silver, nobody wanted coin silver anymore. So
because
the coins,
that was considered a lesser grade.
It was. It actually had less silver in it, and it was considered to be common.
And I do believe that every time you melt down a precious metal, it loses some of its qualities. So if it was already melted down and knocked into a coin, okay, and then you melt it down again, now you're losing the quality that was there with the sterling.
It would actually cost you. You had to put more silver back in.
Oh, because it actually deteriораtes.
Deteriorate.
I mean, it's gone.
It's not 90%. It had to be 90%, and they could actually measure that.
Wow.
And this pattern is called Edward II, and this is really ornate on the back.
Okay, so Edward II had it printed. Is it stamped, and is that how they do it?
Yeah,
it's actually
it has a yes. And you could put it in the back, so it came out of the mold looking like this.
Wow.
And they just had to make sure it was
cleaned it up for any bars or any rough spots.
And all of these have silver marks on them, and all the silver marks are registered with the Patent Office of all places.
Okay. And so tell us some more, Dorothy.
Sure. Well, this is interesting. The Victorians needed to have a piece of silverware for everything. So when I first saw these, I thought they were cute little forks, and I'm thinking, ice cream forks? Well, these are called sporks, and this is for pie a la mode. So if you wanted to put, or cake a la mode, anything you would put ice cream on, you wouldn't need to have a fork and spoon. They came up with one device to do it all.
And it's a spork.
And it's a spork, yes.
Wow. So you use the side of your spoon to cut your cake.
Well, you actually use this to get into it.
To get into the cake
and then
pull it
and then this to get some of the ice cream.
Just scoop some of the ice cream. And the melted ice cream is just the way I like it. Scoop
Yes,
it up that
yeah,
way.
it was good. And then they came up with different kinds of serving pieces too. I actually thought there's something called a berry spoon. I actually thought this was a berry spoon. Mm-hmm. It turns out it's not. This is an ice cream. This too is an ice cream server.
All right. Now, my berry spoons have none of this up here and are just a bowl, but they're not shaped at this angle. They're more flat. So I guess this is to get a good handle to do your scooping of the ice cream?
Yes, that's about, since it always came in a square container, nothing came in a round container. Okay. They didn't know how to make the round containers until the beginning of the 1900s.
Now, so what you're telling me is, when I was a little girl and my mother would go to the store and she would buy ice cream, and it was in a square bar, and it had wax paper between each slice, and it was called Neapolitan. It had a finger full of vanilla, a finger of chocolate, and a finger of strawberry, and it was a square, so that is more authentic than really scooping ice cream out of a round container.
Yes, most people did not have this whole array of silverware.
Right.
You know, I'm sure my family in Jersey City, you know, I'm sure they had spoons, but I'm sure they had none of the rest of this. So it's been very interesting, and you can still, as I said, you can still buy this stuff. I suggest anybody interested, go look on eBay. Even the big silver distributors are
now,
still on
are you
eBay.
saying that you can buy it brand new
No,
now?
you buy it all.
So nobody's making new?
No, actually, none of this, the set that was made in 1861, it was never manufactured after that.
After 18, oh sure, because
And
of the war.
in the 1881, that was a 1 year production only.
1 year production. Wow.
Almost, yeah, all these things were produced 1 year only.
And very collectible then.
Yes, yes. I'm always surprised when I buy things on eBay. I mean, I get somebody who sells me their great grandmother's 5 spoons.
Oh dear, I would never.
And for, you know, I pay like $5 for it. They're
Yeah.
sterling. I pay $5, and I'm thinking, I would never sell my
No, I
my
would
grandmother's
never.
spoons. I have no idea why people do
But
this.
the problem is we can't take it with us. They don't fit in the coffin, right?
Yeah, but 5 spoons, you know.
5 spoons,
And
wow.
these are fairly young people.
Well, hold on, everybody. Don't go away. We'll be back with Radio Vision Network. Morning Coffee Wednesday with Carole Moore and Dorothy Wright. And we're going to actually do some ice cream scooping when we come back in just a bit. Stay with us.
Okay, good.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Welcome back to Radio Vision Network. Carole Moore here at Morning Coffee Wednesday with Carole and Dorothy Wright, and we're talking ice cream. So, after talking all this time about how to get the ice cream out of the container, we're actually bringing the container up, and we're going to scoop some ice cream.
Yeah, grab one of those.
So, any one of these?
Yeah, take this one.
All right. Now, we still haven't figured out what all the little digs are.
We have
on
no
here,
idea what those are for,
but
but
we're going to try scooping and putting them in these crystal dishes. Tell me about the dishes that we're serving.
well, this is my Waterford glasses. These are actually champagne glasses. They're not very effective for champagne because the cup is too wide. But my husband picked this pattern out, and he bought it for me after we got married.
Oh, and what is the pattern called?
The pattern is called Kenmore.
Kenmore.
M-A-R-E.
M-A-R.
And you can still buy it.
Uh-huh.
I have all the pieces, and it's very heavy.
It's leaded crystal. Now
It's
tell
leaded
me
crystal.
about crystal. Tell me what leaded crystal is versus what I drink out of, which is regular old.
This is all shaped by hand. This is not a manufactured product.
So it's not blown.
It's not blown.
It's not blown, but it's shaped by hand.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's all marked Waterford.
And what would a mark for Waterford be? A W?
No, it's a shamrock.
It is a shamrock.
I think it's a harp. It's
Irish-ish. And it's made in Ireland?
It's made in the city of Waterford.
In
Ireland.
Ireland. Okay.
And you can find it anywhere. You can buy it at Macy's.
It's pretty easy to find.
Absolutely.
Well, Dorothy, I don't know about you, but we're going to share it with the crew. Anybody who wants ice cream can come on in and get some. And we'll actually let you eat with Dorothy's silver spoon if you want to come in and try it. Which one am I using,
We're going to
Dorothy?
use ivory. This is my most favorite. This is
our ivy. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying it.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. In my hand, it feels so light. It's almost... Come on over here, young man.
Yeah, you actually think you're going to...
There you go.
You think you're going to...
Take one out for Lori.
You think you're going to bend it, but it doesn't happen.
There you go. Got it?
Okay, and this was manufactured in the year 1881 and never again.
Isn't that amazing that something so fine, doesn't it feel just in your hand, it just feels lovely.
And my children can't believe it was manufactured before I was born.
Well, mine think I'm antique too, so that's what I have, all these antique houses that are bed and breakfast, and I always tell the guests, I like old, and I finally like myself because I'm getting old enough to be likable, and this is just wonderful. And I'm only getting a small. I'm only getting a small amount. Look at this. I'm actually having trouble eating with such a thin. Oh, I'm not proper. I just have to be more proper and.
This does make eating a much slower process.
It does, but that's the genteel way of doing it, is not to gobble your food. I often say to my husband, exactly that. I say, Bill, you're already done. You know, the ice cream cone is engulfed, and I'm still licking on the top, you know? So, Dorothy, you started collecting these things when you were young or when you were
No, I've collected
married?
all of this in the last 10 years.
Okay. And you said something about you have other collections as well?
I actually collect other kinds of... I collect odd silver services.
Odd,
For example,
meaning unusual.
I have a set of sterling nut picks. Because
A nut pick? What the heck's a nut pick?
You would use it to take the nut fruit out of usually walnuts with dinner, because the Victorians served nuts with dinner.
And they serve the nuts not loose in a dish that they've already been cracked. They serve the nuts whole. So not only, as my grandfather used to take 2 walnuts in his hand and crack them against each other to get them open, but you still had to pick out that meat.
Yeah.
You really didn't have a choice.
And I collect seafood forks.
What the heck's a seafood fork?
when you would have oysters and clams and shrimp, they would serve you little forks to eat them with, and they are so beautifully ornate.
Oh my
I have a collection of that, and then I have, of all things, cherry forks. They used to make a special fork just to eat cherries.
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to think what else I have. Oh, and I like soup spoons because the cream soup spoons had round. They were a round bowl. I have a lot of collections.
Now
of
wait a minute. Stop right there. I eat my cream soup and my juicy noodle soup with the same type of spoon.
No, you have to
You
have.
can't have.
You can't.
Oh, okay.
The
See,
round.
I'm so just
the-
low, no couth whatsoever.
Yeah, they have a round bowl for cream soups.
So the bowl's deeper.
The bowl's deeper and round, and then the usual, I guess it's a
Elongated. Yeah.
one was for meat soups.
For meat soups. Oh my goodness. So I think of the movie Far and Away, which was an Irish girl running from Ireland and ending up in America. And as she was running from her family's castle, she snuck into the extra bedroom and pulled out the bureau. And behind the bureau was a box, just like you had, of her spoons. Now these spoons were so precious, this was her dowry. And that was what was going to get her to America, by having those spoons. And so she grabbed them and off they went to America, and that was her prosperity.
I have a number of sets of those, both as demi-tasse, regular
Demi-tasse would be what, almost half the size
yes,
of a teaspoon?
half the size, because the demi-tasse cup is a tiny cup. In fact, it's smaller than these ice cream spoons.
And sometimes the people think that that's a child set,
yes,
but it's really not.
absolutely.
Okay, so
And I have those, and also there is a flat round spoon that was manufactured, and it was for candy. You would pick up candy with it. So I have that kind of things
I
too.
have a collection too.
Yeah, my mother would call these all dust collectons.
Oh, how wonderful!
My husband says,
No,
"What do we need these
no,
for?"
we don't need them. We want them. There's a difference.
Yes, this is the only want I have
That's
really had.
exactly it. Now let me see. Do you have ways to keep this from having to polish them all the time, beside the gold wash that's on the bowl?
Well, these
part?
I make sure when we use these, we put these away.
Okay, and when you put them away, you put them away in a drawer, or you put them, you wrap them. What's
I
the
have
story?
I have special
fabric
envelopes for all of these things,
Oh,
and I keep them.
and they are old also. In other words, or do you?
No,
make
I
these
actually
new ones?
I actually bought them from Lennox.
Oh, that's
At the
good.
Lennox sale, they sell them, so I bought
Okay.
like 10 of them ages ago when I started to collect these,
I'll say.
and they were on sale, so I thought that was a good buy.
That's wonderful. Well, Dorothy, anything else you want to tell us about your fetish for spoons?
No,
it's wonderful.
but anybody can do this. As I said, you can go on eBay. Everybody, they are worth money. All of this stuff, but most people want to collect them as
treasures, just
Yeah.
treasures.
And most people who collect these actually do use them.
And that I do use my silver, and when you use your silver every day, it never needs polishing, because your mouth and your hand are keeping it always
Yeah,
shining.
I don't know why, but I polish everything for Thanksgiving.
Oh, for Thanksgiving. Oh, wow, you must have to start at Halloween.
Yeah, well, we start a while. It takes a while, but I do get it done.
Well, I have a silver box for each of my daughters, and a berry spoon, as I said, for each of my grandchildren. Not that it's a particular set, but it is just a meaningful thing that I think the berry spoon is almost like a grandmother present, because, a berry spoon is much bigger than a tablespoon. It's much bigger than a teaspoon. And a berry spoon gives you the love that a grandmother gives, which is always more love than anybody else gives. So I call my berry spoons the grandmother spoons.
Well, they also usually have not only the big one, but they also have the individual ones that they come with too. And if you look at some of these services, that's probably, I haven't gotten into that yet, the spoon has a carving of what the berry's supposed to be. Like for strawberries and blueberries and raspberries and blackberries.
And you're supposed to use the correct spoon.
Absolutely.
So, not only do you have a collection, you have a valuable collection. And sterling silver is still going higher and higher, correct, in value?
I think from what I have read that people really are not buying silver. I think they have just started to buy silver again of the new silver. All of us who have family members getting married, nobody has silver.
Nobody registers anymore
nobody
for their
silvers.
silver pattern.
I just went to a wedding, and this is the first time I've seen Waterford.
Wow, registered.
For in a long time.
Wow. Well, I know for a fact that when silver prices went up, I think in the 80s, a lot of people sold their silver. And I, not having any sterling, had only silver plate. And I thought, well, heck, I'm not. They were also taking and melting down silver plate. And I said, no, I'm not selling any of my silver plate. I'm going to hold on to it because the artistic value of the tea sets and the teapots and the coffee pots, which are no longer available in the sterling because they melted them down, will now make the plate silver plate, be more valuable.
And the other thing I collect are fish forks and knives. I have a fish service, and those were the only knives I could ever find. And I was wondering why. And when I did some reading, it turns out that this silver is too soft for cutting.
Oh.
So most people got knives, but they get like bread and butter knives.
Oh, okay. And what would a fish fork look like? Long and skinny or fat and wide?
Fat and wide.
Fat and wide.
3 tongs and
3
little
tongs.
picks at the end.
Oh,
and
wow.
I have them mother of pearl.
Oh, wow.
And the knives are really engraved. They're really nice.
Well,
And
Dorothy,
of course, when's the last time anybody ever used them? We
yes,
use them in my
exactly.
house.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. History is alive, and Dorothy
Yeah, it's
writes
just my
us.
husband and I. So the kids don't want to eat fish,
Well,
or they don't want to eat that
thank you so much
kind.
for coming and sharing your wealth of knowledge and your wealth of silver and your wealth of knowledge about spoons. I had no idea.
I know you thought I was bringing silver scoops.
I
mean,
did,
ice cream spoons. I said,
did.
oh,
I thought I was
this lady
bringing
is going to
scoops.
be very surprised.
I said, just in case she didn't have enough scoops, this is what we use in my family. There's nothing silver about it. I think they served it in the 1980s, and it's a special thing that goes through really rock hard ice cream. And of course, our traditional ice cream scooper this way, which sometimes I use for watermelon.
Well, don't
balls.
worry, my family has the same thing. We only use this for company.
This is
As I said, it's my husband and I, since all my kids are married and gone.
Very good. Thank you so much,
My
Dorothy.
pleasure. My pleasure.
It was wonderful. And for those of you out there, if you don't have real silver, it's okay. Use your stainless steel. But if you get an opportunity to get grandmom's silver, go ahead and take it.
And
It's
don't
okay to
sell
polish
it.
And don't sell it. Dorothy and I say don't sell it. Okay, we'll see you next time on Radio Vision Network. This is Carole Moore on Morning Coffee with Dorothy Wright, and we're signing off now till next time. Enjoy your ice cream with whatever kind of spoon you can find.
Today's show is sponsored by Hardgrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hardgrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hardgrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hardgrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hardgrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at purinabeyond.com.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.